Okay, so today, and this is me, I'm sitting here with Miss Kitty. Today I wanted to do a video about the ecliptic and show how we get the signs of the zodiac from the ecliptic. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around and show you the washerboard. Okay, so this is the ground, right? And of course y'all know about the pyramid and how it is from beginning, the Great Pyramid. Okay, and this land that this pyramid was on is called Egypt today, but the Egyptians did not create this pyramid. They created the others that come with it. Okay, and these are supposed to mark Orion and Sirius. Okay, so they align with the constellations, and then you have the Sphinx, which is the kitty, right? And she sits and she stares at the ecliptic, which is the path the sun takes. Okay, and so it's got a border of direction. Okay, so the sun does the sine wave in the sky, which is this. Okay, and it appears to do this. And if you track this every day, especially if you're following the wheel of 12, which let's draw the wheel of 12. I always start with the fertilized egg, and then I do the sacred cross, right? Which this is the cornerstone, and then you've got your square, and then you've got your compass, right? Because we're mapping the heavens, okay? And then you've got your 3, 6, 9, 12, and then you've got your 4 seasons. Okay. And a lot of people don't understand how we get the 12. Well, the 12 is pertaining to the ecliptic, right? So the sun, this is like the first movie. This is the first wheel. Okay, so man did not invent the wheel. Man didn't even invent the square, because the square is found in Saturn. Okay, the cube, right? The cube of Saturn, and this is pertaining to the cube of Saturn as well, because this is pi. Okay, so the ecliptic here, it has a beginning and an end point, right, in the heavens when we're mapping it. And how do we know the beginning? Because this is the path the sun takes, like this, right? He takes it like this. He goes up and down and up and down, all the way around, if you want to believe the earth is round, right? Okay, and then you've got your star constellations that are in the ecliptic. So the sun, he goes through this path and he lights it up, right? Because this is a movie. This is where people got the idea for the first movies, right? And this is the constellations, right? The 12, and they're collected frame by frame. Okay, so there's 12 frames, right? And then the stars in are connected, and this is from where we get our alphabet. And then Aquarius is silent. We don't count Aquarius because Aquarius is the beginning and the end. Okay? And then all the stars outside the ecliptic, which is the path of the sun. Okay, and the sun, he never goes higher than this point, and he never goes lower than this point. He stays in the path of the ecliptic because he's lighting up the reel of the wheel. Okay, so this is where we get the reel to wheel scenario. Okay, and so all these constellations that are outside the ecliptic, these are called the decans, which is an anagram for the dancers. Okay, and so technically these are the pole dancers, because the earth is round, and then you've got your pole, right? And then you've got the reel to wheel, which is, mimicking that of Saturn, with Saturn's pole in the ring, right? Okay, so these are the decans, and each main character gets 3 supporting characters. Okay, and these are their decans. And so each frame gets 30 degrees, and then each decan gets 10. So they come in at the 10-degree marks, right? And then you have your 7 planets from the menorah, right? And these are the flames of fire. These are the rulers of these houses. And then the deacons are also signed a planetary ruler, and you can go look that up for yourself. So yeah, I wanted to explain that, and I wanted to explain the sign wheel, because from the word sign is where we get the word sin, and then you have your silent E. Okay, so the silent E can be placed or it can fall away to make and create words, and words construction and deconstruction. There's lots of silent letters like the silent H, the silent K, and you see that in the word knife. So you got to take a lot of this stuff into consideration when it comes to the secrets, how to unlock words and where they come from and what they really mean for the root, correct? So anyways, the sine wave, the sun, he goes up and then he comes down, and then he goes up and he comes down. And half the year, let me find my eraser here. Half the year, he is going up the ladder, because the sine wave does this in the sky, you guys. It starts here. Let's start in the winter in December, and then he goes up the ladder, equinox, and he goes up the ladder to the Tropic of Cancer, right, which is a solstice, the summer solstice, and then he comes back down the ladder, equinox, and then he comes back down, and this is what the sun does, right, on the path of the ecliptic. The sun never goes higher than this point. Okay, the sun's only going to go so high, and then he's only going to go so low. And this is the ladder. This is also pertaining to the law of Walla. Okay. A lot of people probably don't know about this, but it's also Walla. Okay. Because you've got your silent W. The W falls away. And you've probably heard this term before about magic. Okay, so this is where it comes from. And Walla is water, air, land. Then you meet the wall, because it's also the wall, right? And then on the other side of the wall, you've got land, air, water. So let's start it like this. When you get here, you start at water, right? And you come down to the air, land, air, water. And so water is always on the zodiac. Water is always considered at the top. Okay, and this is where you'll find the flood of Noah, right? In the age of Gemini, right in here, because spirit travels at a diagonal. Okay, this is also where your 8-pointed star comes in, which the 8-pointed star reveals the pound sign, okay, which is the 1 through 9, and that also links to Saturn. Okay, so I hope that explained enough, and I'm going to do some more videos about the zodiac, but this is what I wanted to share today pertaining to the ecliptic and how we get the 12 scenes, right? Scenes frame by frame, and you've got your stars and how they connect the dot, right? And each star has a name, and the names of each star, they all add up and give you an idea about this character. And then the sun comes through and he lights it up frame by frame. And so that's why this is the first movie in the sky. Okay. The starry map of the heavens, which the star is equal to the store, silent E, which is equal to the stir. So that's why you'll have words like master, star, pastor. See how it's store? Okay, star. And these words sound familiar on the tongue. Star, star, star. See? You got to use your tongue to understand a lot of this stuff too, guys, to unlock words.